Off turn 4. Okay, gets very, very loose. Just really spins out. Loses control. Probably had very little side force. Too wide. Sideways. Now it's white smoke. No one can see. The 48 of Stenhouse. The 27 sees it. He goes as far left as he can. He has a choice. Am I either going to hit the end of pit wall or stay on the racetrack? And he just launches off the 48 upside down. And then this long slide had to feel like forever. I'm not going to know what's better, sliding or tumbling. I'm going to say sliding if he's fine, but watch how close Jeb was to the end of this pit wall. He has a split decision, pit road or not. The yellow barrel's not a good option.
Yeah, he made the right decision not to try to turn left there at the last moment. Just a no-win situation for Jeb.
And the spotter coming on, asking him if he's okay, and also telling him no one's going to hit you. That would be the other thing that a driver would fear, is he's in such a vulnerable position.
So now the spin, and look at all the smoke. So you want to say, all right, here's where I want to go, but you're just trying to miss him. And then it happens that quick. I mean, that decision has to be made in milliseconds.
That's why I love slow motion replays. Shows us the violence. Like this will show just how much that car launches in the air. Now look at this hit right here. He lands basically on the driver's side door, tumbles onto the A-post. That shows how violent it is, but there's nothing like a full-speed replay to show you Jeb's decision-making. It is right now, left or right.
And remember, following the 2 crashes back in 2015 where cars spun onto and hit the inside wall of pit road, Pocono extended that pit wall by 100 feet back towards turn 3.
And think how important that was, because if that's the case, if there's 100 feet less wall, if there's 100 feet less wall, then there's a higher chance that they're hitting the end of that pit wall. So we talk a lot about these facilities. So many of those upgrades do.
26 car back here. He gets around on his own. People start taking evasive action. He's coming down the hill. All of a sudden, here comes Michael
right there. Just
there it goes.
Over the left front. Catapults him upside down.
Just turned him right over. Several cars involved. See the 26 car get around right there.
And everybody's trying to crowd down to the bottom,
knowing he's going to go to the bottom of the racetrack.
The 54 car.
Yeah, Kevin Grubb is involved. So is Casey Kane.
Yates's car, Casey Kane, 98.
Now from Johnny Sauter's car.
Oh, yeah, the 26 just gets around backwards.
Let's ride with Lyndon Amick.
Boy, that thing had no warning.
You see Michael go by right there. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Lyndon Amick taking a couple of hard shots.
Yeah, that old Dr. Pepper car was getting hit from all angles.
Yeah, at 10, 2, and 4.
It was so crowded there, right where Michael was. There was cars inside, outside. He tried to cut down under Amick and got up on his left front, went up over his left front wheel and just flipped him upside down.
Michael was headed down lower, and the 54 car shot him back up the racetrack. That's when he drove across the left front of Lyndon Amick's car.
2 years ago, he took a bad tumble.
7 of Justin Allgaier gets a big run, goes to the apron. Next thing we know, we're 4 wide on the apron, Jeff.
Yeah, everybody's got to go. Everybody has tires trying to get in track position, and Allgaier was just on the apron, entered the corner on the apron, and ended up getting up into the side of the 21.
Yeah, he ran out of, at some point, you have to make the corner. The corner has the banking. There were so many cars above him, he couldn't get up on the banking. It looked like he lost control. Take another look at it. Focus on that bright red or orange number 7 back here. That's kind of where the whole thing starts.
And normally you think you're going to get down here, you're going to slide up into the racetrack, but he just never had a chance to. Allgaier just kind of, I think, needed to give that spot up and get out of the throttle, but knowing there's a race win, if you can make it work, maybe ahead of you, just chose to stay in the gas.
And look at this car. It gets up on its side. It's sliding. You know, these cars have roof flaps that design them to stay on the ground when you see a high-speed rollover at, say, a restrictor plate track. But here, that wasn't really an aerodynamic thing. The cars aren't going at top speed on this restart. That's just the force of this car. Hitting that outside wall throws it up into the air. And then, Jeff, as we saw, it slides to a stop on its roof.
Yeah, there was another car involved in this, too, that got him up and upside down when he did hit the wall. Take another look. Here's the 18 of Riley. Herbst, he gets into him.
Both of those young drivers are having good nights tonight.
And when you see a car gets upside down, Jeff, it takes me back to the technology we don't talk about so much. From a 5-point to a 6-point to a 7-point seatbelt harness, all of those points that are added are down around your hips and legs for this reason, to keep a driver pulled straight down in the seat so they don't go up when a car gets upside down.
That's a big impact. I mean, obviously it's dramatic when he rolls over, but as you said, Steve, the impact is what rolled him over. The advancement inside these race cars' seats, the limit of the movement of the driver is so important. The belts you just spoke about, the seat technology, the head surrounds, the Hans system, all of those things designed to limit mobility, to keep everything intact with the driver. Just such a different world today. And the wall that he hit, it's a safer barrier, absorbs energy. Just such a different world than it was 20 years ago.
You talk about safety advantages. Just this year, we saw that huge wreck with Ryan Newman at Daytona. One of the issues with that accident was oil coming out of the oil tank. NASCAR's put a valve in place to limit that.
Back it down.
You see this huge accident for back in the field.
All over, slide down. Got one other side down, so take your time. Go to the very top here. A lot of debris in the middle. Cars are gone. Cars are gone in front.
And early in this race at lap 41.
A little crossover move here by Carl. Clean here, clean here. Just slight contact. Look at that thing go.
That looks so much like Edwards' turnover at Talladega off the bumper of Keselowski.
It really did, and I'm so wondering and hoping that when they put the spoiler back on these cars, they'll quit turning over like this.
Keselowski's put the window net down.
The roof flaps deployed, but it did not sit that car back down. I'm like you, Darrell. I'm going to be so glad to see that rear spoiler back on these cars.
I think that's it's got to be something to that.
That car took a hard hit in the left A pillar, the windshield post, right in front of the driver.
You just see how that wing sticks out so far out the back of the car, behind the car. It almost looks, if it'll create downforce with the car going forward, it's got to create a pocket of air behind it when it gets around backwards.
Guys, you saw it right there. Those white gloves, they made a turn to the right.
Brad Keselowski has climbed out of his Penske Dodge.
Here we go. These guys are coming off, and you can see right there the back of Bickle's car is a little loose. He never makes any contact with the 26. Spins around right in front of Kerry Earnhardt, and here comes the 21 car. And see, he was trying to turn out from behind him. Also back here, I believe that's Christian Elder spins around as well. There's a car down here in the grass.
Yes.
Wow. Cars going everywhere. What a mess.
Here's a different look at it.
Just gets it loose up off that corner, and that's real time, and it happens so fast.
Quaffle was a lap down in 21st position at the time.
I don't know who that car right there was, but he didn't have any idea which way to go. He kept waiting and waiting and waiting to see what was going to happen to the 21 cars that was sliding on its roof.
Yeah, the racetrack was pretty.
Just wasn't clear. Caught the 14, gets sideways, and here comes the impact. Hard hit. You see him spinning. The more you look at that, the whole right front suspension was broke off. I think it rolled underneath the car, and that's what flipped the car. The upper A-framers broke. The whole right front suspension dug in.
That was Todd Gilliland tried to go high and just didn't have enough room.
See that right front wheel dug underneath the car, and that's what dug in and caused it to start flipping. Violent crash.
Now let's ride along with Daniel.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, if you're Chris Buescher in that position, and we've seen a lot of cars slide through the infield, the last thing you think is going to happen is that you're going to flip. That was the last thing he thought was going to happen. But I'm with Clint. It almost appears that impact from Suarez
watch when it spins around right here. You see the right front. See it flip
right
over?
There.
Yeah.
Dug in.
Upper A-frame was broken. As soon as it rolled underneath the car, it dug in and sent that thing a-flipping. Wow. What a ride. A lot of work went into the safety of these race cars. See him crawl out of that thing. Hats off to everybody involved in that.
And good to know that was nothing to do with the racetrack or the turf that sent Buescher's car over. Right there where he gets a big piece of Suarez is where that right front goes. And when it completely comes off and gets under the car.
And you see the tether is actually holding that tire to the car so it doesn't fly up into the stands or go out into the racetrack. That's just a 1 in a million times that could happen, where that tire falls underneath the car and shoots the car up in the air.
Tether did its job. Very impressed with that.